Good evening. My name is Luka Bunic. I am a Croatian artist. I live and work in Berlin since 2013. I'm gonna present you maybe last 5 years of my work, and since we have a limited time, it's gonna be a kind of a little roller coaster because there is a lot of stuff packed, and I'll try to kind of lead you through. I think it's 5 series of my works. So before we start, I have to say in general that I'm an artist that over time, since I'm 48 years old, figure out that I don't have really a style. I'm thinking in concepts, and I usually develop my art in, let's say, like if I'm doing something with paintings, I usually also use multimedia. So when I develop some series, I usually reinvent like a chameleon in a way. So before it was a curse, now it turned out a blessing because I really live different lives in a way. So I'm not limited to media. I'm exploring video, and I also do sound at home, and I'm very kind of diverse in that way. But I think in general there is something that connects all my works somehow. So hopefully you will find it through this presentation. So I will talk a little bit about not the last, but one before that exhibition. It's called Astral Falafel. It was held here in Berlin in Mitte in Gallery Aquavit, and so now the pointer. Oh, wow! So Astral, it was kind of wrapping up 10 years in living in Berlin, and so I wanted to kind of do a little diary about it, how these 10 years affected me as a foreigner, a person who came from another country, a different culture, and so on. So, and falafel, that would be like a little unit of food. So it was a little lessons that I learned over these 10 years. And so I tried to kind of paint this in a way that's kind of like coded messages. So yeah, Astral is self-reflection, turning on the back and checking these 10 years, how it went. So here it started with these letters. So if kind of you don't know that you should read them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't know what it's written. But now I'm telling this in a way that a person can kind of get the code and then can read it. So it is like, for instance, this one lesson or this falafel, it's about not compromising yourself, whatever you do. So I don't know if you figure it out. So it's like anal bend, yeah, anal bend, back pain. So whenever we do so this is what Berlin taught me. So one of the lessons is don't compromise yourself, otherwise it's gonna be just a double job in the end. Yeah? So yeah, this is the exhibition that then letters kind of developed in a more monochromatic way. And at the end of this series, so I usually have, as I told you, experimental for, let's say, I made like 15, 20 paintings, and then when it's starting to look good for me, then these paintings before are kind of forgotten or repainted, and then I start from there, and it's usually not more than 10 or 15 paintings in series, 30 maximum. So here these letters went straight at the end of the series, and it's connected. It's a diptych, probably you know. It's so paintings that are conceptually connected. So one is talking about also similar topic about so dusk as the end of our life, and did we follow the punk inside and did we listen to the soul voices? Did we follow our intuition, or we made something that looks like a dawn? Yeah, like so. Dawn should be a beginning of the day. So every day it's promising. It's promising. Okay, I have another day, but actually it could turn out that the time is gone. So it's actually talking about it's dusk and dawn, and one is talking about how we should follow as possible our intuition. As I mentioned, my works are a lot about mental and emotional life, and so this here is kind of talking about it. Later at the end of series, I kind of went to more pictorial, symbolic motives. One is about humanity traveling through time. So this is already out of Astro Falafel. That's something else that I started. So that's how I wanted to tell you. Somehow it takes me fast, and I have to follow this. And the other one is a kind of a kiss that I don't know if you can see here. It's because I'm a lot into space exploration and very much into technology. This kind of interests me. As a kid, I wanted to be like a priest or astronaut. So none of those worked, but somehow I'm here combining in a way surrogate. So yeah, this is like a kiss. I don't know if you can see well, because it's also like done with these before, and these ones are done with lac or varnish, and from certain angle you can see them, from certain angle you can't see. So this is a kiss with a organic stroke, and another one is, as you can see here, is more pixelated, so it's kind of flirt with the artificial that is coming now in the age we're living in, and it's going to be quite interesting how it's going to unfold. Yeah, so then further, actually part of this exhibition, Astro Falafel lessons and kind of things I learned was a video that is the idea was also to explain how I felt in Berlin, but also which is the lessons that help you. And my initial idea was to ask the homeless people around Ostkreuz, where I live, how they survive. But then when I found myself in a situation to talk to them, I figured out this is wrong. This is wrong to come and ask them something and use it in art. So I gave up. And in one moment I was just sitting drinking beer, and a homeless guy, which was a super eloquent with very good English, a German guy, a young guy who is already like 7 years on the street, we got immediately connected. I don't know, was sent by the universe or what. And so I told him, like, could we make this conversation, so maybe we share how you survive is like the hardest level. And through this story, it's a 3-minute video, I learned a lot of things, and it was very interesting to hear how they live. And then actually this topic turned into something that interests me to do in future, which is about that homelessness is actually not a choice. It seems that it's early traumas and home backgrounds. So sometimes we see a healthy man or a woman and we think, yeah, they could work, but talking to them, and it seems that it's a lot of things that, so it's not a willing thing. Yeah, and that was a kind of a little exhibition about these 10 years. And coming on to next stuff, this is the painting that is called Space Baroque. Those are there. It's actually done around time of Corona. Since I'm a lot into space exploration, I'll try to explain in short. These are actually hidden 2 aliens holding a human. The motifs are used from spacecraft Voyager that was sent to check if there is aliens, and if we ever meet them. So there is like a codes that say how big our telescopes are, what is our genomes, how intelligent, how much developed, and so on. So I don't know, I found it in a way, oops, now I'm jumping a little bit, sorry. I found it in a way funny, so I made like, maybe we should ask for a little bit of help, like to lift us up. And also I was thinking about album when I was a kid that I got from after some operation for being brave, and it was called like Mom and Dad Are Holding Hands. So I thought like maybe I can kind of combine the idea of humanity going and discovering this unknown world with discovering the kind of like your early memories that can be also subconsciously hidden and forgotten. So yeah, that was, and this Baroque forms kind of fitted with these dots, so I went even more into these shapes that look like Baroque reliefs. And so okay, I'll hurry up a little bit. So Then this is I'm a little bit jumping with the forward. So 2020, also these three works are there. They are connected with the very big scale paintings around 3 by 4 meters. So they are obviously not here. I couldn't bring them. But these three astronauts are talking about again about figuring out your own patterns, why we meet the same people, why we do the same things in life, sometimes good, sometimes not good. We all know about it a lot. It's already like a new age. Parrots even to know about it. So for me, it was interesting at that time because I was really doing a lot of psychotherapy, guided, and I tried to use the aesthetics of astronaut travel, so like a moon landing compared to landing in your own psyche and finding your own inner traumas, your own inner triggers, and so on. So it sounds easier than it is. So 3 stages is like once you recognize the recognition. These are auto-portraits, by the way, and then if you decide to work on it, then there is confrontation, there is hard work, and hopefully you get to the other side where you still have them, but at least you know them and you're fast enough, because subconscious is super fast, as I learned, and you can't control it. You only can have a light of understanding. So at the end you understand, and you kind of are a bit more faster than you do react in life and so on. The aesthetics is like from Gagarin, because I, as a kid, it was my big hero, the space explorer from Russia. So his helmets, and then my portraits. And the last one, I couldn't help it to use the Elon Musk's suit, which is kind of a new era. So it's 2 70s and 1 up to date. So yeah, that's a moonwalker, and connected with the moonwalker, I did some. It was also time of Corona, so everything was, you know how it was. So I was fascinated by a story that a Mars lander, actually, they sent the first Mars lander, and expected it's gonna last not too long, but it lasted like almost 7 years, I think, and they got really friendly with it. It was going very slow, so they were navigating it and so on. So at the end, there was a big storm, and in this big storm, his wheels were kind of already worn out, and it became a little hero. So it's also talking a little bit about this connection with artificial intelligence and humans. And his last words were like, because the sand storm put a lot of dust on his solar panels, so his last message, his last words were like, my battery is low and it's getting dark. So it's kind of touching for a little rover, and we like to project this is an idea about it. But at that time I felt also drained personally, and of course in these Corona times, so I went around everywhere. So this here you can see, it was a little bit dangerous. Warsaw Strasse, it's here. This is in Pankov, and I used to do them like with losing letters, like it's written with when. So in the Mauer Park, there was like, my battery is low, and then less and less words. So it's a little bit kind of poetic. Yeah. That's it from the Moonwalker, and this now we jump to the last exhibition that I just had in Croatia in a corridor gallery. It was also very intimate. I went through a burnout, and I didn't know I was going through a burnout, because usually people start to stop working, and I didn't know. I figure out, so it's just 10 works. I usually work quite fast. It took me like 6 months for these works on paper, and they are done in combined technique. And I can show you here actually how it's started, and like a hot, in a way, gets hotter and then chills out. So it's a series that we exhibited in a circle way in a gallery, and it's a little I don't know, witnessing about how actually burnout looks like in my way, but it could be also general. So you kind of don't know, you're like getting something is happening, and then here it's escalation. You can see the heaviness, and then even I went to a lot of doctors, some like natural doctors like acupuncture, And then she says, yeah, you are getting better, like your kidney energy is getting colder, because when the body is in a heat in Chinese energy, it's like complete over burnout of the machine in a car. So yeah. And I think, yeah, that's more or less it. I love to do, normally in Croatia, I did a lot of collaborations with musicians, but now Berlin encouraged me to start doing music on my own, because I was like very big respect for music, so I didn't touch music. There was always musicians doing it. So my next project will be about intuition, and it's called, working title is Ancestral Echoes, and it talks about how our intuition, how our ancestors from our country used to connect with their intuition, and how we do it today as an artist. So at the moment it's a solo project, but I have an idea also that it might grow into a group exhibition where different people from artists from different countries could kind of witness how they do it and how the ancestors from their countries did it. So I also think it's going to be something that I'm coming back to finally, like these live performances or video installations and so on. So that's it from me. I know it was a lot of stuff packed in, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. I will start with an easy question. Like, with a series Space Baroque, the two white ones there, like usually people, they don't see anything there. I've seen it. I've seen the forms, but yeah, initially not. But then you spend time, because I had to find out which label goes to which artwork, which was the number one and which was number two, and you actually see then the figures, but you have to try. But many artists fail the test. and some people see other stuff. Do you have any funny stories about this, or people seeing a totally different thing of what you actually expected to create?
Thank you, Milton, for the question. It's very actually good. It's not easy. My actually idea was to show you in advanced in a slide before how it's done, and then you would see the figures. So they are kind of hidden, but I can show you this one here is in the middle. That's a little human from the Arecibo code. It's called, and it's used in a Voyager, like that and the Golden Record. So this little guy is in between. The left one is two of them holding hands, so it would be like a start of the humanity. So just two of those, and then we can show it now. That would be nice. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I can show you. Yes, thank you. So I didn't put the other one where two of those, that's the left one holding kind of hands, that would be the start of the humanity. And then the second step, these are just two paintings. So do you have this little guy here? He is kind of like with the feet, because it's follow these Nippon dots. And then what inspired me, there was an answer, if you know, in the wheat fields, they used to find like kind of, they said it's an alien prints. They used to these corn drawings. So there is actually a reference. I think it's not true, but it's nice to believe. There was a reference, two big guys with the eyes here, the empty part, and they have little hands also. And so it's like done as an answer to our Arecibo, like the aliens gave us an answer, and there was like how they look like, how they are big, because in this Arecibo message it's main informations about humans in general, how high we are. So this is just a little part from there. And so yeah, these two heads are here, and then they're holding him by the hands. So
thank you. So my question is about the homeless project. So yeah, I just wanted to know, or I'm just interested in the why would you think it's a good idea to present like homeless people in a gallery space? Because it's kind of very personal, it's someone's tragedy, and you really like working on that, exposing their weaknesses and the, let's say, miserable life they have.
Thank you, Veronica. This is also a quite complex question, and that's why I kind of hold it a little bit with the project. The idea was to make the actually a house that I saw from homeless people in a gallery, and kind of make them do it, and then make a video about how they are building it, and then they go out, have their daily life, and then when they come back, they can't get in because the gallery is closed, you know, so kind of society is closed. But then talking with some friends who are also curator from Croatia and so on, they told me like it's a very big hype now also in media about people giving homeless money and helping them, and so kind of influencers are earning likes on it. So I put it on hold for a while because I think it's a very intimate topic, but since I'm very much into mental kind of like health, and I come from an artistic family and we had a lot of situation at home like this, so I'm kind of familiar. As a kid I was hanging out, I didn't want to go into details, but and my father was always hanging out with interesting homeless people, and I remember he was even telling me he'll pick me up in a school when I was kind of naughty with one of the weirdest guy who had some kind of branches always around him, so he said we're gonna pick you up, and it was a fancy school, so it was a threat for me. So in a way I am connected to the streets a lot. I grew up as a skateboarder, and so it's like a long time I've really like did it, so for me it's something familiar, and people tell me that this video, it's quite brave to be able to talk to them, because there is a certain level of almost animalistic that they live in, and they can be intimidating. And his friend was waiting while we talked, and they figured out that I'm genuine and honest, but it was scary because one of them is like really like was in prison and so on. But when you open to these people, they're really nice. So there is a lot of different things that kind of I'm still processing this idea, but I'm gonna probably do it.
Thank you. I noticed that there was like a geometric shape in the astronaut series that was also in your burnout series. Can you talk a little bit about if that has any symbolism?
Thank you. That's a really precise perception. That's true. So I will just skip fast forward. There is this. You are thinking about these shapes here. Yeah, exactly. This is also appearing in the. If you look here, this is a 12-sided stone that they use to call a wisdom stone, and I put it in the middle of the process of upgrading yourself, let's say so, because this wisdom stone is used to even in the Bible, like of understanding something. So the same thing is actually easy. It's appearing also here, and you can see it's appearing also here, because that's the moment where I kind of figure out that something is like, so it's also about understanding why you went to this burnout, because everything is connected. It's not like a burnout or moonwalker. For me, that's the mind, how our mind operates. So nice question. Thank you.
So I am a little bit curious of you started saying that you don't have specific style, but actually I've seen a very strong one. So I want to know why you said this. And by the way, in there I thought it was the moon surface.
What's your name? Thank you, Alicia, for a nice question. Thank you for the compliment. I mean, it maybe sounded like this. I said chameleon. I've never used this word. It's a little insecurity. At the same time, it's something I'm proud of. So it's there is. I for sure see one line, as you said, of style inside, but. When I was younger in academy, I used to even more change from every work to every work. And then I asked one teacher, like, everybody is kind of like already in the codes and very cool artists and so on. And I'm like, so it's pulling from history from the academy. And then he told me, like, don't worry, life by itself, it's like this thing where you pour the wine, you know, that's in the bottles. And the wider up, it gets more rich down. So it was a nice answer from him. And I think that's actually with all the artists have this kind of diversity. So I just maybe expected too much from myself at that time. So it was a little bit more saying how I used to see things. I'm quite okay now at this point, but maybe it sounded like this. So yeah, and yeah, it's moon landing. Yeah, was a lot about. So it was an idea to get the structure of the moon, and actually these paintings, when they're in dark, they have constellations of our closest constellations in phosphor, so it's also interesting, but we couldn't show it. It needs a dark and light. Okay, thank you very much for your questions, and yeah.